Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you for joining me on this episode today. I am stoked to be here and be with you during the holiday season. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of the things. And this is a Q&A episode. I haven't done one of these in a minute, so I'm excited to kind of dive into some of the questions that you asked me on Instagram this week. So I put a story up and I just said, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to know? Let's dive into it. And I got quite a wide variety of questions. So we are definitely going to dive into those, everything from ozone therapy to mold to fertility, all sorts of things like that. And I'm just happy to be able to bring you some answers and give you some guidance in the knowledge that I have. So before we dive into today's episode, a shout out to Qualia Life. I love Qualia Life. They are such a good partner and they have been in the biohacking space for quite some time now. I would say that they're actually probably one of the OG biohacking supplement brands. And they produce quite a few different really cool supplements. One of my favorite ones is centered on longevity. It is called Qualia Senolytic. And basically what this does is it targets one of the hallmarks of aging called senescence. Now, senescence is like a cellular process that basically takes the old cells, turns them over, and gives you new cells that are more efficient at what you're doing. And this is really important because whatever health issue that you might be dealing with, signs or symptoms, the root cause, most of the time, arguably 100% of the time, is actually cellular malfunction, is cells not, performing as well as they should. So if we think of this from a root cause approach, how can we increase our cellular health? How can we help the cells on a very, very minute kind of idea? And so targeting senescence is what this product does. And it is a supplement. You take it 2 days out of the month, but you don't do it every single month. So you could do it every quarter, or maybe every other month if you really wanted to. I do it every quarter just to kind of clean up my cells and boost my longevity and just, again, work on my health issues that I have. Everyone has health issues from a cellular standpoint. So that's Qualia Senolytic, and it is by the brand Qualia Life. So if you use my discount code, which is BioHackingBrittany, you get 50% off your first order. Okay. Yeah, 50% off. And then it also gives you an extra 15% off for every single order, including the first order. So I just plugged this in the other day because I was like, is this real? Is this really this much off? And it is. So definitely check that out. You can go to qualialife.com/biohackingbrittany to get that. It automatically puts my code right into the checkout for you. I love when it does that. It makes it so easy. Definitely try that if you haven't yet. And a shout out to Wellness. So Wellness is the self-care health company by Katie Wells, who's also known as Wellness Mama. And this is a line of products like toothpaste, skincare, hair care that is very, very natural, very healthy for you. I use their toothpaste. I currently use the cinnamon one. We also have the charcoal one. We have the kids one. And it's really great. Very clean, doesn't have any fluoride in it, and uses, I think it's like hydroxyapatite instead as the cleaning agent. And that is much better for you than fluoride, not associated with any severe and bad mental health issues. And there is a lot that you can, get from these toothpastes that I love. So great healthy products, highly recommend. And yeah, definitely check that out. So I will put that link in the show notes for you. If you use my discount code, you get 12% off, which is lovely for the holidays. And they also have like a tongue scraper, bamboo toothbrushes, and a bunch of other products that I really want to try as well. So quite a wide range. I love Wellness Mama. Katie Wells, one of my favorite people. And I actually want to get her on the show for next year for 2025. So stay tuned for that. And now let's dive into this episode. So my first question is someone who wrote in and she said, I'm new around here. What are your qualifications? What schooling did you do? Where did you study nutrition? She kind of asked a few different questions. Great question. It's, obviously listed on my website, but I will run you through kind of what I've done to date. So I hold a honors bachelor's degree in global and public health from Laurier University, which is in Ontario in Canada. After that, I went and studied at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, which when I graduated, I became a registered holistic nutritionist. Since then, I've also completed additional certifications, including functional medicine for women's health. And right now I am finishing my advanced fertility nutritional advisor professional diploma. Whew, that's a mouthful. So by March, I'm hoping to have the advanced new fertility nutritional advisor diploma done. And then I am thinking about applying for IFM for the fall or for 2026. So IFM is the Institute of Functional Medicine. And this is something that I have had on my radar for like 5 years. And I feel like I'm finally at a point where I could commit to it and hopefully get in. So we will see. Stay tuned for that. If I don't get in, I might go and do a master's degree and study holistic health from a different place. It has to be online, but there are quite a few master degrees I've been looking at as well. So yeah, this is kind of like where I've been, what I've done. And on top of all of this, I've personally overcome health challenges like leaky gut syndrome, candida, PCOS, and more, which has honestly really fueled my passion for helping others navigate their health journeys. I talk a lot about this in different episodes. I've done a lot of personal episodes. Could be time that I do another one, a updated version. Maybe that's something I do over the holidays, but that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, my background is in nutrition and like dipping into functional medicine for women's health. And once I finish this current diploma, it will be more into women's health and fertility. And then probably come later this year, next year, 2025, I'll probably fully move into more of the functional medicine space and away from nutrition solely. And honestly, I feel like biohacking and functional medicine very much go hand in hand. Nutrition is one pillar of your health and of your life, whereas functional medicine is a holistic view of the body and the health conditions and issues that we're facing, and goes through this idea of like root cause medicine, root cause healing in order to come out the other side and overcome whatever health challenges you're dealing with. And that very much aligns with the philosophies of biohacking in general, which are, optimizing your health in a holistic way as well. So it very much goes hand in hand. So I think that's kind of why I've always been drawn to functional medicine. And like so many of you wrote when I posted that on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and I was messaging you, so many of you, about functional medicine, a lot of you said like, it is the medicine of the future. And I completely agree. So that's kind of why I'm also stepping into that realm. And now that I'm not pregnant and I'm not having another baby anytime soon, I feel like I have the capacity to be able to study something significant like that again. And for those who are interested, IFM is the like gold standard that is for, certifying people in this space. And they are redoing their entire program. It's launching in 2026, but they're doing like a test cohort for fall 2025. Now, I want to see if I can get into that test cohort. I'm putting it into the universe, okay? Because I don't really want to wait. So, and there's no point now in joining the program when they're redoing the program starting in the fall. So I kind of have to wait to the fall or to January at this point. So put that into the universe for me as well. Hopefully I can get in. It's like weird. It's not weird, but it's like different certifications if you are in like an international student, which is what I would be. So it's kind of a gray area. So I honestly really need to reach out and have a meeting with their team, because if they say, hey, you need to do another master's degree before you apply, I could definitely get a master's degree done, between March and September, an online degree, like as if I don't have a newborn at home. Yeah, I'm, probably biting off more than I can chew, but we will see. So I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, thank you for the question, and always a good one, because you have to know, who you're talking to, who you're listening to, and where you're getting your advice from. Okay. Question number 2, how to detox your body from mold. So I'm not a mold expert. There are definitely mold experts out there. Please reach out to them. Who comes to mind? Maybe I will link a couple people in the show notes. But there are mold experts out there that you can also talk to about this. There's books, there's documentaries, there's lots and lots of resources about mold. But mold exposure can wreak havoc on your health. And the good news is actually you can detox from this, and there is a lot you can do. Now, first and foremost, what I would recommend is removing the source. This has to be done. Mold spores can thrive in damp environments. Studies show that professional remediation can significantly reduce exposure. What I would do if I thought I was suffering from mold, I would bring in a professional to check my home, because I personally don't feel qualified, or I know enough to know where to check, looking at the vents, looking at the HVAC system, looking at the water, you need a professional to come in who knows how to look for mold and knows where to look. And there is a service in Canada and in the States and in most countries that do that. So bring someone professional in and have them take a look. I remember when I was living in New Zealand for about a year, New Zealand is very damp, very, very damp. And we lived in this townhouse, and it was one of those townhouses that there's 5 mini floors. So there's a bunch of stairs, and the bottom floor, we backed onto a forest, and the bottom floor was where the bedroom was. And in the closet, when we packed up to leave New Zealand to go to Australia, I took out my jackets, and all of my jackets had mold on them. And I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I hadn't worn the jackets in forever. So they were just sitting in this damp closet. I had no idea. So I had to go and get them professionally cleaned to get rid of the mold. So definitely look for mold. Remove the source is your number one priority if you are trying to detox from mold. Secondly, we want to support the detox pathways. Now, you can use binders like activated charcoal or bentonite clay. And research published in Frontiers in Microbiology highlights that these binders can really bind to mycotoxins for elimination. Now, what I do, and I'm going to talk about saunas in a second, but when I do a sauna, I actually always take a charcoal capsule to do this very thing, is to bind to the mycotoxins, bind to any toxins that are released during the deep sweat and detoxing that comes from sauna use. We don't want to do something like a sauna and then go on with our day and just let the toxins recirculate and be reabsorbed into the system and into the body. That's after you sweat, if you don't shower, sweating is a way that we detox from the body as well. So we really have to wash that off in a shower and make sure it doesn't get reabsorbed into our skin. Otherwise, we're really not detoxing at all. And even a quick rinse helps, right? It can be a couple of minutes. It could be a cold dip, anything. It doesn't matter. But we have to flush the skin and really just get rid of those toxins that are released. And so bentonite clay is great for this, and activated charcoal. I know those are really big in the skincare space as well. And it's kind of this same philosophy of opening up the pores, putting on a face mask, and really sucking all the toxins out of our skin, all of the goop, all of the gross stuff, and then clearing it off is the same idea there. So that's how you want to support those detox pathways. The next thing would be focus on drainage. Have you heard about senolytics yet? It's a class of ingredients discovered less than 10 years ago, and they're being called the biggest discovery of our time for promoting healthy aging and enhancing your physical prime. Your life goals in your career and beyond require productivity. Let's be honest. The aging process, however, is not our friend when it comes to endless energy and productivity. And that's why I use Qualia Senolytic. If someone had told me that there are science-backed ingredients that could help me feel 15 years younger in a matter of months, I would not have believed it until I tried this. As we age, everyone accumulates these senescent cells in our bodies. They're also kind of known as zombie cells. They are old and worn out and not serving a useful function for our health anymore, but they're taking up space and nutrients from our healthy cells. Much like getting rid of dead leaves off of a plant, qualifications removes those worn out senescent cells to allow for the rest of them to thrive in the body. The best part is you actually only need to take it 2 days a month. When I have taken this, I've had higher energy levels. I have been more productive, felt more enthusiastic in life, and also had less aches and pains. So resist aging at the cellular level. Try Qualia Senolytic right now. Go to qualialife.com/Brittany for up to 50% off, which is wild. And use code Brittany at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's Qualia, spelled Qualia, life.com/Brittany for an extra 15% off of your purchase. Thanks to Qualia for sponsoring today's episode, and I will definitely be taking my share this month. When I say drainage, there are things that you can do that are like physical practices, like dry brushing and lymphatic massage is great for this. So dry brushing is essentially it's exactly how it sounds. You're not wet. It's not after a sauna or a shower or a bath. Your skin is completely dry and you take a body brush and you brush your skin. And there is a certain way to do this in order to support lymphatic drainage. So essentially it's always towards the heart. And there are many images online you can take a look at. There are many resources for you to understand this because I think a visual is really needed for this one. So when I used to do dry brushing, which I haven't done in a long time, but I really should, is I would take it and I would do my arms first. So I would go from my wrist all the way up to my shoulder towards my heart, and you brush and you do a certain amount of strokes, however many you want to do. And you're always brushing in that upward stroke pattern. So I did that for my one arm, did it for my other arm. Then I would do it for my chest, and you can do a figure 8 around your chest is what I was taught. And then I would do it for my legs as well. So you would brush up towards the center of your body, up towards your heart, because that is where these lymphatic drainage, modules, is that the right word? No, I don't think that's the right word. I have holiday brain, but that is where the points for drainage are. So you really want to bring and circulate all of your lymph to the center of your body. Okay. Then you can do your stomach as well. And then your back. And obviously you can get someone to help you with your back. The lymphatic massages are very much the same idea as this. It's just somebody who's trained in lymph who can help move your lymph through your body and get it out of the way, essentially. Lymphatic massages are great. I had my first one done a few months ago, and it really does help with detoxing. Lymph is really interesting because there's no pumps involved with lymph. So if you think about our blood, right? Like the heart is a pump and it's pumping our blood and circulating our blood. But lymph doesn't really work like that. And so that's why there's always these like physical practices that are recommended to help move it and detoxify and eliminate any pathogens or toxins that are stored in the lymph to be able to get it out of the body and help you detoxify things like mold. So that is something that I would do. I would look at maybe doing a lymphatic massage, maybe once a month, if you have access to that. I think that's a great idea. And dry brushing, I would probably do every other day. Could be something you do as well after like a sauna. So if you did something like a sauna, you took your binder, like activated charcoal, and then you did dry brushing afterwards. That is like a beautiful, beautiful detoxing routine that I think would be smart to do if you're suffering from mold. And obviously something really important here is hydration that needs to be added to that. Anytime you're doing any type of detoxification, whatever method that you're choosing, hydration is pivotal. You need to be super hydrated, drinking enough water, really supporting the body. in order to eliminate toxins. Another way that we eliminate toxins is through our urine and through our bowel movements. If we're not drinking enough water, both of those systems aren't functioning as they should be. You can tell if you're not drinking enough water if when you go to the bathroom and your pee is like super dark or super bright, that type of thing. If it's super pigmented in general, you're likely not drinking enough water. When I go to the bathroom, my pee is like see-through. It's like there's hardly any color at all. It is very, very, very minimal. And I drink a lot during the day. Like I constantly am drinking something, whether it's water, coffee, tea, every hour I'm drinking something. And when I use the sauna, my rule is I think I try to do like 500 mils of water beforehand, during, and after, especially because I'm breastfeeding. I don't want to impact my supply. So hydration is super important and I focus on that. The last thing you want to do is really support your gut health. So mold often disrupts gut flora. Probiotic strains such as Lactobacillus rhamnosus have been shown to help mitigate mycotoxin damage. So boosting your gut health, you can't just throw a probiotic at your gut and expect things to work better. My recommendation would be to heal the gut. Most people have inflammatory guts. So I would take a product like GI Revive, which is what I'm taking, which helps with all gut functioning, helps to heal leaky gut, and is fantastic. I've seen a lot of benefit from GI Revive, and I will link that in the show notes for you. And I would take something that will actually heal the gut lining. I would add in certain probiotics like the one I just mentioned. And I would also increase your fermented foods as well, so that you're getting a wide variety of bacteria from those fermented foods. Now, of course, with gut health, this is not a gut health question, but there's a lot that you want to avoid. We want to basically, in a nutshell, stick to whole foods, skip the sugar, skip the processed foods, anything that can kind of feed that bad bacteria or viruses or candida, anything that is really disrupting the gut from functioning as it should, you want to avoid. So that is how I would go about it. If you have an infrared sauna, even better. A study in the Journal of Environmental and Public Health suggests that infrared saunas aid in sweating out fat-soluble toxins, including mold-related mycotoxins. So, number 1, remove the source. Number 2, get some binders going to support your detox pathway. Number 3, focus on drainage through physical practices like brushing and lymphatic massages. Number 4, stay hydrated to enhance toxin removal. Number 5, support your gut health. And number 6, get yourself in a sauna. Doesn't matter what sauna it is, in my opinion. Do whatever you have access to, I think is great. Just get in there a few times a week. If you're having serious mold, I would probably do it daily. I know a lot of people also talk about, die off and symptoms of die off and everything like that. Look into that. And yeah, I guess first and foremost really is becoming more educated in the space. So get a book, get a documentary. I think Dave Asprey put out a mold documentary a while ago. I haven't seen it, but I know he talked about it for a while. That could be something that you watch and learn more about. Okay. Next question. This person wrote tips for getting pregnant. I was like, wow, okay. I have a whole course on this. So I have a whole course on this. Okay. Tips for getting pregnant. I can't summarize in a 5-minute segment right now. There is so much you can do. And I know because I just went through this and I help other people in my Baby Steps program do this. If you want to get pregnant and you're worried about getting pregnant, you can't get pregnant, you want to optimize the health of your baby like I did, and who is also my baby is very strong. He is it's crazy. He's very, very healthy, very resilient baby. If you want to have a healthy pregnancy, have better birth outcomes, your health matters right now. And so the number one thing that I would do is go and sign up for my Baby Steps program, which includes the 90-day protocol that you can do before you start trying to conceive for you and your partner. If you have a partner, I don't know how you're going about getting pregnant. This is what worked for us. It's what worked for many of my clients or I guess my members is a better word to use. I really suggest you dive into that. Actually, and I probably should, my sale is still up from Black Friday. I've kind of just left it up. It's 50% off right now, which is crazy. It's literally it's $199 right now. That includes the full access to the 7-week course, which drips once a week, and you get access to the 90-day protocol right away. There's printable worksheets, everything you need to know. I talk about nutrition, tracking your menstrual cycle, biohacks that you can do like red light therapy. I talk about exercise, lifestyle, sleep, supplements. Like, I don't think there's anything I don't talk about in that course and program that I created. And men are super supported in this program. Every single module has a space for men in it. I talk about sperm quality, testosterone, hormones, how to optimize all of it. So my tip for getting pregnant is to go and do that program. And I will say a course that is $199 is significantly cheaper than IVF. And that is why I made it so cheap, is because I want to educate people and say, before you jump into this thing that's going to cost you $10,000 to start and has a very low success rate, why don't we just try optimizing your health? And then let's see what your fertility, like what happens with your fertility, how you can get pregnant, how healthy your pregnancy is, can you carry to full term, and optimizing the health of your baby. So I really encourage a natural, softer approach for this than diving into IVF. Nothing against IVF, but I really think it should be a last resort, before something you do after you've lived this very, very healthy lifestyle and you're still not successful. Please, for the person who wrote that in, you can send me your specific questions and I can help you. Again, my course is 50% off. I should probably close that. I would hop on that now because I'm just realizing that I left my sale up. We've been traveling and I've been sick. And so, it's not something that has been super prominent for me to close right now. But yes, do that and let me know what you think. Okay, next question is how to avoid period acne. Now, this is a very specific question. So there are lots of people who are specializing in skin health. I'm not an expert. That's always my disclaimer, is I'm not an expert in these spaces. But period acne is a very clear indication of an imbalance in the body. Skin in general is a window to what is happening internally. Okay. The skin in general shows if you have acne, if your skin isn't super bright and clear, if you are aging faster, if you have dark spots, if you have lots of whiteheads or blackheads or eczema or psoriasis, anything like that. The skin is this beautiful way that the body shows us what is happening internally. So if you're going through your period and you're having acne show up specifically during that window of 4 to 7 days of your period, that means that there is a hormonal imbalance that is likely happening throughout your entire cycle. And it's actually just showing up through your skin during your period at that time. So the number one thing would be, let's figure out how to balance your hormones. We can't really balance your hormones without knowing what your hormone levels are. So if I were you and it was really bad, I would get my hormones tested. I would personally do something like the Dutch test, which takes a look at your hormones at different points in your menstrual cycle to give you an accurate map of what they're doing and when. The problem with a lot of other tests that do hormones is when we're talking about sex hormones like this, is that it's just a quick snapshot, right? This one day, your estrogen level was this, but that's not giving us the full picture. And so that's why when you do something like the Dutch test, which has multiple points for that estrogen biomarker, it can really help us see, okay, this is the curve. This is what it's doing. This is what it should be doing. So I would first and foremost get your hormones tested so you can better understand what you're looking at. Likely, you're going to find an imbalance. It could be your estrogen to progesterone ratio. It could be that you have higher testosterone. Higher T typically is related to skin issues, acne like that. We see this in a lot of men and we see this in a lot of teenagers as well, especially boy teenagers. who have really, really bad acne, it can be related to imbalance in hormones and that high T that's happening at that age. Toothpaste. We all need it and use it daily, but have you ever read the ingredients of your toothpaste or noticed the FDA poison warning on there? If not, keep on listening for some surprising information that your dentist might not be sharing with you. Fluoride has long been a common ingredient in many commercial toothpastes, hailed for its ability to prevent cavities. However, recent studies have raised concerns about the potential health risks associated with fluoride exposure. These risks include thyroid dysfunction, dental fluorosis, skeletal fluorosis, and potential neurotoxicity. Given these concerns, wellness offers a safer alternative that doesn't compromise our health, yet remains effective. Why choose wellness toothpaste? It is founded by wellness mama Katie Wells, and wellness is dedicated to natural health and uses hydroxyapatite instead of fluoride, a game changer in oral care. Here's why it is a better choice. It's fluoride free, eliminating all the health risks that I just talked about. The natural hydroxyapatite formula strengthens enamel and whitens your teeth. Plus, it's crafted from natural ingredients, gentle on gums, and eco-friendly. I love it. I use it all the time. I love the taste of it. And I don't think I will switch to anything else. So make the switch for yourself today to Wellness Toothpaste. Visit wellness.com and use code BioHackingBrittany for 12% off your order. That's wellness spelled WELLNESSE.com. Safeguard your health with wellness because your smile deserves the best. So there's a lot you can do to balance your hormones. I think balancing your hormones is such a general term, but there are things like cruciferous vegetables that support estrogen metabolism. There's DIM, which is derived from these veggies that has been shown to modulate estrogen levels effectively. I've taken DIM in a supplement before, actually, and it's been great. And that can really kind of help with this whole idea of balancing your hormones to have healthier skin. And when we talk about hormones as well, we also need to talk about the blood sugar and insulin situation. So blood sugar fluctuations can increase androgen levels, and this exacerbates acne. So pairing carbs with protein reduces insulin spikes as an example. So what this basically means is we really want to stabilize blood sugar. So while we do want to balance the female-male hormones, we also need to kind of swim upstream a bit more and look at stabilizing blood sugar if blood sugar is not stabilized prior to this. And you can tell if your blood sugar is not stabilized by spikes of energy and then crashes. And really easy things you can do to stabilize blood sugar include adding protein and fat to carbs in a meal, going for a walk after a meal, making sure you're timing your food properly and you're not eating in the middle of the night. Those are very basic things, but actually make a really big difference if you were to stick to those every single day. So stabilizing blood sugar can definitely help with this period acne that is showing up. The next thing would be to reduce inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids have anti-inflammatory properties and can reduce acne severity, according to a study in Lipids in Health and Disease. This is huge. I am currently taking the cod liver and butter oil supplement from, I'm forgetting the name of it, but I am taking my omega-3s through cod liver right now, and I've definitely felt a difference on it, mostly for my brain function, but it makes sense that it would also help for inflammation with skin as well. I'll link that in the show notes. I love cod liver oil. It also has a high amount of vitamin D and vitamin A in it, which are really important. Vitamin A is great for your skin. Vitamin D is also great for your skin, actually, in a different way. And so cod liver is typically my recommendation when people talk to me about omegas. Last but not least, we want to think about skincare here. We want to choose clean skincare. So research links parabens and phthalates in skincare to hormonal disruption. So opt for brands that are free of these chemicals. So that just ties back into what we said, right? Like, if you are using brands that have all of these hormonal disruptive chemicals in them, like parabens and phthalates, it's wreaking havoc on your hormones. And then that's causing the acne in a roundabout way. So we want to use clean skincare. My favorite brand, I have a couple favorites. So I really like OneSkin. I will link them in the show notes. They are the only, I guess they are the only, I'm just thinking out loud. They're probably the only biohacking skincare company that I support, to be honest, in terms of like topical skincare. I love their team. They're female founded, which I love. And I use all their products. All of their products are clean and they are focused on peptides. And I would recommend it to anybody. So that's OneSkin. If you don't want to do something like OneSkin, which is probably what I would do if I were you, I would do something like tallow. Tallow is basically beef fat, and you want to be getting this from grass-fed, grass-finished beef. I get mine from a company called Muskoka Tallow here, which is local to me. My friend runs that company. And this is so supportive for your skin. I really, really suggest doing something like this. Very nutrient dense, all natural, great for the skin. So I usually kind of go back and forth between the two. I will use tallow on my skin, and then I will also use OneSkin's face product because I want the peptides and I want the advanced support. But then with tallow, it's also this natural moisturizing option that I have that just feels really great on my skin. So I go back and forth. That's kind of been my skin routine. That's been my skin routine postpartum for the last 5 months. Yeah. So that's what I really, really recommend. OneSkin has one as well that has SPF in it, which we love. Also has an eye cream. They have a face wash and they have a body cream as well. And I have all their products and I love their line. Last but not least, a couple supplements that you could add in. Like I know I talked about omega-3s, which I think are important, or DIM, is you could do something like zinc. Zinc reduces inflammation and bacterial proliferation on the skin, while vitamin B6 helps balance progesterone levels. What I would do, let me think. If I was having period acne, I would do, honestly, I'd probably take a prenatal because I just know prenatals are so effective. I would probably take the prenatal by Needed, which is the prenatal I've been on for a very long time, which has the most absorbable forms of these nutrients like B vitamins and zinc. They also have one that is just for women's health in general, I think. And I think that would have the nutrients that you're looking for balancing your hormones and also supporting skin at the same time. I would take that. I would take an omega-3 through a cod liver oil supplement. I would get my hormones tested, like I said. Make sure you're getting your insulin, fasting insulin tested, and your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone through Dutch. And I will link that for you. And I would get a full picture of what's going on with your health through that method. You want to be avoiding sugar, processed foods, alcohol, and then obviously supporting detox pathways, which I kind of just talked about with mold, can also help this as well. I hope that's helpful. I feel like that's a lot of information. Take it with a grain of salt, but that's kind of how I view things, is in a very holistic manner. Okay, last question is thoughts on using ozone for cleaning produce. This is such a biohacker question, and I'm obsessed with it. So ozone for cleaning produce. I love this idea. Research shows that ozone treatment can reduce pesticide residues by up to 90% and kill pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella. It's especially great for organic produce that's more prone to pests. When using a home ozone generator, ensure it's food safe and follow the manufacturer's guidelines for best results. I think this is a fabulous idea. I think it has been shown to reduce pesticide residues. I think that's brilliant. I personally do not have a home ozone generator. I would love one. I don't even have a brand to recommend to you because I don't know. I haven't used anything myself. And so this is very much out of my scope to be able to recommend something. But yeah, I think it's smart. I think I would do more research into it. And yeah, I would find I would find a company that you trust in order to do this for yourself for the best results. I might actually have to look into this and start doing this because I think it's something I haven't thought about. And I love when you guys challenge me and give me questions and kind of up my own health in order to be better in this way. Okay, so there were a couple other questions. I'm not going to dive into them. I might do a part 2 because this is getting very long, in my opinion. But thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the OGs who are just like so supportive and have been here for so long. I don't even know how many episodes we're at. It doesn't even really matter, to be honest, but I just appreciate you showing up, downloading, leaving the reviews. Please support the show in any way that you can. I don't have like private episodes that I charge for. I don't have like a little fund that, some people have that are like, sponsor me here. I don't do any of that. The only way that you can support the show is like downloading the episodes, sharing them, and leaving reviews. So I would love that, whether it's on Spotify, YouTube, wherever, Apple Podcasts, go for it. I will say with YouTube is I'm kind of not super impressed with them lately because they're taking down quite a bit of my content every time I mention a couple of things. The first one being a word that rhymes. This rhymes with, I don't even know if I can say something that rhymes with it because I think it's going to be flagged. But the short form that people spell it is VAX. So anytime I say anything about that, my content gets taken down from YouTube and gets flagged and I have to appeal it. And anytime I create anything about silver, colloidal silver, YouTube takes down my content. Like I just got informed today saying YouTube took down a video that I posted like 2 years ago about using colloidal silver on my skin for something or like as a toothpaste because it helps, it's antibacterial, antiviral. So it actually might even flag this podcast episode right now. I'm really curious as to see what happens. But that just goes to show you that like the content that you're consuming online has been audited and is not everything that is actually out there. Anyway, enjoy this podcast episode. I will catch you soon for another one. Please support the show. And if you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Happy holidays, and I will catch you for another episode very soon. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.